good morning, and welcome to Good News Bowie. I'm your host, Darius A. Stanton, and thank you for joining us this morning. And it's not just me that you're joining, you're actually joining one dynamic lady, and you'll find out why I say dynamic, Miss MICHELINE Bowman.
Thank you. Good morning.
She's the founder of BOWMAN Media Group, and I tell you, she is a wealth full of knowledge, a wealth full of information, and she's going to share a lot of it with you today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Now, people don't know that this is a really auspicious and historic occasion.
That is because?
It is because you worked for 27 years behind the camera, putting people behind the camera, setting up the shots, going into the community, bringing them in, primarily at Fox?
Yes, I was there at WTTG, Fox 5 News. I started in 1989,
Wow.
October of 1989. And at that time, Fox Morning News, no one in Washington, D.C. had a news show. So I literally helped to start and be a part of starting news here in Washington, D.C.
I told you this was history, right? And so, actually, so in October, that's a 20 year, that's a.
Oh my gosh, yeah, October's coming up next year.
There we go. So this is the beginning of a party.
Well, you know what? It's the beginning of a second season of party for me because I was with them for 27 years. And then in 2017, they eliminated my position and I took a year off to pretty much figure out what I wanted to do. And then last year I said, you know what? I have a lot of resources. I have skill sets. So I'm going to start my own business doing PR and publicity, but mostly making sure that I had a niche. So my niche is media relations. A lot of people do PR, but they don't have a specialty. Mine is in media relations because I'm coming out of media.
Got you, got you. So we're going to talk, a little bit more about, MICHELINE's history, what it was like in television.
Wow.
How it evolved. It's coming from a media space, and then now helping people to get into media. And then the second half of the show, we're going to talk about tips, for those who are a lot of our residents here in Bowie, which we both are.
Yes.
Actually, we're both coming up on a 20th. Well, you said you've been here 20 years.
I've been here since 2000, yes.
Okay, and I've been here since 2001.
Okay, well,
so we're right there. We rolled in at the same time, and I love Bowie.
I love it. Bowie is bigger than I thought, because when people go, "Where do you live?" I say I'm in Bowie. Oh no, that's Glendale. Oh no, I'm like, no, my address is Bowie.
That's
I'm right on the beginning. I'm on the north side.
That's right. That's right. And I'm on the south side, on the other side of 50. So, but I do. I truly.
I love it.
I do. I really do. Our children were raised here, and they loved it and doing well. So we're blessed.
I love it. It's diverse. Everything is still within reason to get to. And people go, Bowie so far? No, it's not. Come to Bowie. I love it.
That's right. Come to Bowie.
Come to Bowie.
This is a commercial, although we don't do commercials.
Not getting paid for, not getting endorsed.
That's
I'm just saying, come to Bowie.
Come to Bowie.
I do.
Come
I love
to
it.
Bowie.
I love my neighborhood. My neighbors, literally, since I've been there, in 19 years, only 3 families have moved out. Only 3.
Wow.
So everyone knows everybody. It's diverse. I mean, I love it.
Y'all truly family.
Everyone knows everybody. It's
Right.
like, hey, instead of saying, hey, neighbor, I mean, you know your
Right,
neighbor. And
right.
a lot of times nowadays, you don't know your neighbor, which is sad. So.
I know. Isn't that wonderful? Yeah, it's a blessing. We've been pretty fortunate well, at least in the component where we are, it's about 6 or 7 homes in development that are beyond, and other homes around, but our little spot. Everybody knows everybody, and
That's how it should be.
They look out for each other's house when folks go away, and our son used to take care of our neighbor's dog, when they went away. So that's what it's all about.
That's what a neighborhood is about.
Exactly.
Community.
So you heard good news.
Good news here in Bowie.
There we go. So speaking of good news, so historically, just the fact that you helped to pioneer.
Oh gosh, that sounds like, ooh, pioneer, that's a big word, but okay.
Pioneer news in the District of
that.
Columbia. Now you have all kinds of shows. You've got Good News Bowie, you've got Peace in the Morning. I'm pushing my own shows now, of course. But you have all these Good Day, DC, just a lot of different, news programs. So what was it like coming in, fresh, doing news in a brand new space? What was that like?
Well, back then, news was totally different. The equipment was totally different. The access that we had was totally different. You know, we didn't have all that social media things like we have now. So pretty much scripts were sometimes handwritten or typed on a typewriter. Nowadays, they don't even know what a typewriter is,
Right.
you know, and then they were ripped and they were gone through like a machine and put up on your teleprompter. A pedal ran your teleprompter. I mean, it was totally, totally different. But I think the best thing for me is being able to have the knowledge of what was then and to what is now, and seeing this, the evolution of the cameras going from a 3/4-inch tape to a beta tape to a DVC Pro to a, you know, an actual drive. I mean,
Right.
just seeing all that. Before, you know, photographers will go out in the field and come back and give one person the tape. You'd have to wait till they were finished before you could look at it. Now you put something in a computer and anybody can look at something just like that. So
Right.
just seeing the evolution of you know, how
technology.
yeah, technology for me is a major thing for me in television. But everything else stays the same. News is news is news. And I tell people it doesn't matter what TV station you watch. They're not going anywhere.
Right.
People say, oh, this is better than this is better for that. Now that I'm outside of it, I have a different perspective about all of them.
So speaking of that perspective, what's it been like for you to make that shift when you look at how news was captured? So I often talk about the reason why we created Good News Bowie is because we really believe that our society has been trained on what I call the deficit communication model.
Okay.
Where people, the first thing you see on news is who got shot, who got robbed, who got mugged, all the negative things. And then 20 minutes into the broadcast, they talk about the young person who's got 12 scholarships to Ivy League schools or whatever the number is, just something positive and creative.
I agree.
And so how have you seen news kind of take a shift from that vantage point?
Well, I will say personally, when I was at Fox 5, I really got upset seeing, I'm a minority female, I got upset seeing us dictated as if, I mean, depicted as if we were like the lower class. And I said to the photographers, and I went to management, like, look, if you're going to send somebody out there, make sure they, first of all, they look okay, they know what happened. They're not just somebody saying, hey, 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 put me on camera, and then the people, when they see it, they judge everybody by that one person. So I really fought for that because I didn't think that was fair. The second thing is, you know.
But let me stop you for there for a moment, because I want you to talk about fighting for that and what it was like as an African-American woman fighting for what you believed in a, am I correct, a pretty much white male dominated industry at the time.
And well, what a lot of people don't know to this day, Fox 5 has the largest of minorities behind the scenes. So like the editors, the photographers, the videographers, all of those people are minorities. Still this day, still like that. But in front of the camera, you know, we didn't have that many. And here I am, I came out of college in '88, so this is '89. And so at first, I didn't want to rock the boat coming in thinking I knew everything. But as I saw what was happening, I didn't feel comfortable with it.
So where'd that come from? Where'd you get that? Did you get it from your mom? Did you get it from your daddy? Was it college?
It was a combination.
That gave you that passion to be able to feel like you got to speak out.
You know what? Micheline is an odd name, and I've always felt that I've been a little odd. I don't go with the current. Sometimes I go against because I feel like, you know what, I have to own my name and own my voice. And so I felt like, you know, being different, you know, I'm pretty tall sitting down, but I'm the shortest in my family.
You are pretty tall, sir, because very few people, women especially, am I toe-to-toe or eye-to-eye
and I'm the shortest in my family, so imagine
As
me,
I,
you know, I'm the only person who didn't make 6 feet, so here I am, like, always
having. Oh, you're not 6 foot?
No, I'm 5'10",
I didn't know.
almost.
So, you know, normally on Good News Boy, we're standing, right? But we're sitting to give you all, no, we're giving you all just a different look today. And so as a result of that, you know, you don't get a chance to see how tall she really is.
Yeah, but I'm not. But yeah, so I really felt that, you know, if no one was going to say anything, it was going to be me. I don't know why, but I was just tired of watching the news, knowing we have a great product, knowing that the stories are great, but I just wasn't comfortable with the sound bites that were selected. And sometimes if you're not of that ethnic background, you may not see it the same way somebody else will. Like somebody can't tell me how I should feel as a black woman. Like I can't tell a white woman how she should feel about a soundbite.
Right.
But from that moment, I made it a point that, look, if you're going to put somebody on, make sure that they represent everybody, not just because they're the first person that wants to get in front of the camera. You've seen people waving their hand and and then they get on camera and they and that to me, unfortunately, when you put that on television, those are the images that people remember, and that's how we're all grouped and classified like that.
Right.
And it's not how we are.
Not the case.
No.
Right. So I did thank you for sharing that, but I did want to just capture that because I think it's important for people to understand utilizing the platform and the power that you have. And the power that we have is just like in the case, they didn't necessarily ask you, you know, sometimes they may have, but you decided, I see something that really should be done a different way, and I'm going to put my hand up and let people know.
Right.
And I really want to encourage folks because people still, you know, they get in positions that either we have not been in before as African Americans or people of color, or we are in a position where it's really touted as a high profile, and so you're afraid to, if you do the wrong thing, you're going to get bumped. But unless it's your own business, I tell people all the time, at any given time, you can get that phone call. At any given time, somebody can slide you a piece of paper, and they decided that, you know, it's your name's Lou, and you got to go too. Pretty
much that's how it is. And with television, there really isn't a age where you have to retire. If you look at television, you see people 20-something, you see people 70, even 80-something years old on television. So people think that at a certain age, you age out. You have the contractual people, then you have people like me who aren't under contract. So it's pretty much, in DC, it's an at-will, you know, city. But, you know, over the course of years being there, I've seen so much growth and so much development, you know, within Fox 5. So I don't want to speak negatively about them because, I mean, obviously that's where I got my start. But I wasn't comfortable with everything that went on there, but I don't think anyone is ever 100% comfortable with everything at, you know, at their job or workplace. But being that I worked in the news, it was hard at times because I would see news before it went on. And sometimes when I would see things, I would say things. Not all the time because I don't have, I mean, I'm just one person. This is back in the 80s. But, you know, management change, and as management changes, you hope that they see your vision and they, you know, kind of embrace everybody, not bringing in ideas from they brought in from another city. But Fox, you know, was a great place. They're doing great things. I'm proud for what I started there, what I did. You know, I ran the internship program, so I have a lot of you know, people that are actually on the air now.
Oh, that you helped to bring into the system.
Yes, Annie Yu, she was on Fox, now she's on Channel 9. And Elisa Gale, she's on Channel 7. I mean, so it's like, I feel good knowing that I had a hand in making other people's lives better though when they watch TV.
A trailblazer, a seed planter. We're going to take a brief break, but when we come back, we're going to be talking with MICHELINE Bowman, and founder of BOWMAN Media Group, and we're going to talk a little tips. We may talk a little bit more about what's happening in the news today, but we're going to talk a little bit more about tips and what you can do as a business owner, as a budding politician, as somebody who just wants to increase your brand, and what you can do to do that. When we come back with Good News Bowie. Hey, so we used to say welcome back, but you know, we're an asset-based community development and communications program, so we want to give a new term, welcome forward. That's right, because we're not going back to the last 15 minutes, we're going forward. And thank you for joining us. I'm Darius A. Stanton. I'm Darius A. Stanton here with Good News Bowie, and we're joined by a pioneer in news. Now, you may not notice and see it by, you know, her youthful appearance, because she is youthful and she is still rolling and starting her own business. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming back, Miss MICHELINE Bowman.
Thank you for having me back. Well, as I'm moving forward.
There we go, there we go. And she is the founder of
BOWMAN Media
Group.
Yes.
Excellent. So we talked in the first segment about the fact that you helped start news. The Fox 5 was the first company to really start a news program.
Yes, it was.
And you helped to start that division. You also talked about, you know, your role in actually bringing things to bear and just bringing attention to things that people really didn't, you know, kind of pay attention to. And as an African-American woman, you stood up tall and said, hey, I think we should do it this way. I think we should do it that way. We just talked about, you know, using the power while you're in position. Use that power. Don't be afraid to exert yourself.
You can't be. I mean, because if I did not say something at the time, I always ask myself what would have happened.
Wow.
And I didn't want to have to worry about what would have, because I was there. And when I wasn't there, you know, Fox had this whole thing. People go, oh, you work for that network. Oh, they're racist. All this. And I always say, stop. I do not work for the network. Fox 5 is the local station. I say same parents, different kids. That's the way I do it.
That was very smart.
Because people kept wanting to group me from, because you know how.
Sure. Well, yeah, it's automatically when you think about Fox, but when you really think about Fox, if you rewind it for a moment, and if you're in my age group or beyond, then you would be thinking Fox had all the good shows, right?
We did. They did. They were pioneers for that too.
Well,
starting all those
and
shows.
still, I mean, you think about Family Feud, you know, and Steve Harvey. I mean, but in terms of black family shows, am I right?
You're right.
So what were some of the shows back? Let's go down memory lane.
Okay, well, I know Living Color was my show back in the day, which started a lot of people. And now this might sound bad because I worked in television, but I didn't watch it all the time. I couldn't, back then I could tell you every single show that came on from 7 o'clock to 11 o'clock. But then as time went by, the hours I worked, I didn't have time.
Sure.
Because I was working like crazy, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, so I didn't watch
So was Martin on Fox?
Martin was on Fox.
Hey, so that we stop right there, because I'm a Martin fan. I'm a Martin Knight, you know, I mean, he is from here, you know, Prince George's County. But I'm a Martin lover and still watch Martin pretty
you'll see him soon with Will Smith, because that movie's coming back out.
So you might be able to get with Ms. Bowman. She might be able to get you some insight. I'm just telling you. You see right here, she's a good news buoy. She might be able to be.
Maybe.
There you go. So we promised folks to talk about a little bit about what you're doing now.
Okay.
And you're helping a lot of clients. You know, you're getting them, and you made the distinction between in media support that you are focusing on media relations.
Correct.
And really helping connect folks to stations and other media outlets. So tell us about Bowen Media Group.
Yes. So pretty much Bowman Media Group I started last year because I felt there was a disconnect. So many people want to be on television and then they think they have the assets or they have everything in place. But when I get them and they come sit down, my motto is, are you ready to be seen? And I say that because everybody is not ready. Everyone doesn't have their package. They don't have their video, their pictures, just different things you need to present yourself to be seen. And so once, you know, I work with them on that aspect, and then I pitch them to the radio, to print, to television, to just all the, you know, the media aspects, because that's where my specialty is. It's on media. And it's been great. I am a team of one, but I say I get the job done because, again, I have a Bowman Media Group because I'm thinking forward so that I will be expanding and growing. But right now, I'm doing great. I love the clients that I have. I only take one of each discipline because I know it's just me and I can't have, you know, 3 authors or 3 of anything because I'm not going to be able to donate, to give the time that's necessary to really advance, you know, their brand. But I am willing and able. I love to speak and host events as well and talk to people about, you know, how to get into television for students that are in school. So anything media related, that is why I'm here, to help them be seen.
Well, you know, I definitely want to thank DCN Entertainment and Daryl Carter and their group for encouraging you to do something that you very seldomly do, which is get on this side of the camera.
Oh, I can
so, hey, it wasn't Good News Bowie, but it was DCN Entertainment, and so shout out to them. We had a great time this past weekend down at we actually did, it was my first time at a grudge match, a drag race. There's a African-American
He told me about that.
motorsports park, Custom Tees, which is down in Colonial Beach, Virginia.
Which is out there.
Which is way down the road.
I said, okay, Daryl.
Yeah, it's down the road a piece. But it was really great. I got a chance to meet a grandfather who's 80 that's racing. His granddaughter and his great-grandson are all racing now. So it's a true family affair.
See, that's a story.
Isn't that a story?
That's a tip.
80, and he's still racing.
That's the story.
And look, when I interviewed him, he said, I said, so, you know, do you find it challenging? He said, well, you know, I'm still racing for my fans.
Okay, well, if he has fans, but I'm saying what you just said is a story. People think that everything is a story. Everything is not a story.
Right.
But that's a story, you know. Can I take that to TV and can it give people like the ooh and the ahs and ooh, I want more?
Sure.
You just gave me 3 stories: the
Right.
grandfather, the granddaughter, and the great-grand.
Exactly.
Stories.
Yeah, I mean, it's a generational movement they have there. Hustling Henry Brown was his name. Hustling Henry Brown. He had the yellow shades. Oh
He
man,
could probably
he had a full beard, a huge bush. Very
Hustling Henry.
very
Okay.
colorful. You know, just a true character. But he's been raced and still yesterday at 80
Racing.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So, but let's talk about tips, you
Sure.
know, and what people can do in the media or how they can prepare themselves. And you talked about, you know, are you prepared to be seen?
Yeah.
So let's start from there. So what do people do to need to be prepared to be seen?
First of all, because social media is everywhere, I always tell people, make sure your social media represents who you want people to see. Because if you have social media and everything is, well, ratchet, I'm just going to say it.
Call it what it is.
Just going to call it what it is.
Right.
And you come to me and, you know, you want me to get you on television, TV will look at your social media. So I always say, we're not trying to change you from being who you are. Be who you are, but have a page that is professional so that you can take that page and share it with television or radio or print. Also, do you have pictures? Do you have a website? You know, do you have the basic things that I would need to look at in order to pitch you? If you're an author, I need to see a book. Don't tell me that you have a book, but then I can't see it because how can I read your book to know what it's about? You know, if you're a model, but you have no pictures, you know, so like pretty much, you know, you're a rapper, or you're a singer, you have no tracks, no music. So it's like, how can I help you be seen if you're not ready? So it's one thing to say that you're ready for television, and more importantly, how do you speak? A lot of people don't realize that sometimes I speak fast and I have to slow myself down. But I tell people all the time, it's not a white language or a black language, or it's an English language.
Right.
So you have to really be conscious of what you say and how you say it, because once you say it,
It's out there.
It's out there.
Right, right. Wow, those are some excellent tips. I mean, so just keep in mind your social media.
That's important.
Be very mindful of it, and you know, also as Miss Bowman also talked about, you know, be mindful of they're going to look you up, you know, and so this is across the board. This is for, you know, students. This is for, you know, you're looking for a new job, your current job, a promotion on your job. You know, people want to know that the folks that they bring in, they can entrust with the brand or the logo or the family business or whatever it is that you're doing, whatever endeavor. They want to know they can trust you in that space.
If this is your brand, when you walk through the door, like, this is my brand. You know, they look at you, and whether or not people want to admit it, they judge you off of what they see before you open your mouth.
Right.
So I always say that, you know, it's okay if you want to have green hair and tattoos and all on your face, but where is that going to take you long run, you know? So you really have to be mindful, and I get it nowadays, it's like the free love and all that, but get the job first and then decide what you want to do.
So it's so funny you said this when you looked at me, you was like, this is your brand. So I started out working was very fortunate. I'm from Annapolis, Maryland, and very fortunate to get a job working for a county executive at 19 years old.
Wow.
So I'm this little skinny young black guy pushing the button to go to the top floor in the Arundel Center, which is where the county executive's office is. And people would look at me, they would turn, because you know, they know when you go onto the 4th floor, that's it. It's the executive suite, right? So they're looking and they're like, where is he going? So every day I had to come to work. I had to come to work dressed up. Now other people in the office, they may not be dressed up, but because I was 19, 20 years old, this young guy, I had to look the part. And then whenever I spoke, I had to speak the part, because they're looking at me like, what is this young boy doing in this room? And then when they look at me and then they hear me, then it's like, I see why I see why they got him. Okay, he's special, so to speak. But I maintain that, right? So now, just in terms of being mindful of that, I was taught, you don't dress for the job you have, you dress for the job you want.
I agree.
And so that's what we're working towards. Also, just in terms of tips, what about building relationships? How important is that?
That is majorly important. I have a philosophy that I don't want to meet somebody just for the moment. I want to meet them for the forever. And I say that because you can be up and down the street or let's take it back to this. Coming here today, no coincidence. I truly believe that you're in the space that you're supposed to be in at the particular time. But it's up to you to decide who in that room are you going to fill up with space. You know, who are you going to meet? So I always say you network for your net worth. So sometimes you got to get out of that rigmarole and be around the same people doing the same thing, getting the same results, and step out by yourself and go to an event that you want to go to by yourself. Buy tickets for a show that somebody you might want to meet. You have to kind of like think outside the box, because if you have the mindset of that you had yesterday, you're going to stay in yesterday. And my biggest tip is you're never too old to dream. You're never too old to dream. I have an acronym for CEO, which is CEO, change everyone's opinion. I want people to realize that they are already the CEO of life. They can do whatever they want.
Excellent.
But you have to change people's opinion about how they see you.
Right.
If they have a mindset of that, oh, he can't do this or she can't do that, and you're like, well, I can't.
Right.
And you're never going to be able to do what you want to do.
So before we wrap, tell us briefly about, because you host some events.
Oh, Meet Me Monday.
Meet Me Mondays that are very powerful. You help people in the community with your Meet Me Mondays. You really use your platform to support people, and I want to thank you.
Thank you.
For the work that you're doing in the community and helping others not only connect, but make a difference.
Yes, I love Meet Me Monday. I know we don't have much time, but Meet Me Monday actually started in 2013. I was tired of people saying, I hate Monday. So I got together people for networking, for vendors, to give back, for nonprofits, to spotlight live entertainment, just a whole bunch of to get Monday to feel like a Friday.
Okay.
And that's my
Well, I
got
to make sure you meet Miss Friday. She's a
there's a
co-host
Miss
on our
Friday?
other show. Yes, there's a Miss Friday. So you're Miss Monday.
I'm Miss Monday.
There you go, Miss Monday. We got Miss Monday on the show, ladies and gentlemen. So
I
make
love
sure
Monday.
we connect with them. Tell the folks how they can reach you, please.
So I am Micheline Bowman on all social media, and BOWMANMediaGroup.com for my business, and I look forward to working with whoever wants to be seen.
There you go. Well, it's been a pleasure having you. I hope that even though it was historic and we were able to get you on this side of the camera, we hope that you'll come back and share, other events, bring some of your clients back.
Yes.
So that we can make sure that folks get to know. I mean, they're in front of 55,000 of the most prominent African Americans in the country.
Right here in the county. I'm telling you, gorgeous Prince George's.
Good news, Bowie. And if you have some good news that you'd like to share, please reach out to us here at Bowie Municipal Cable Television, or reach out to us at goodnewsbowie@gmail.com, or Good News Bowie on Facebook with Darius A. Stanton. So I want to leave you with this good news. Think about this. When you have an opportunity, focus on being grateful. Being grateful puts you in a position where no matter what the situation is, you recognize it could always be worse. Ladies and gentlemen, be grateful. This is Darius A. Stanton with Good News Bowie saying, push Good News Bowie.